Now it's time for our next guest today, and she was a trusted friend of the late Queen and her sister Princess Margaret, and is one of the only people to have attended both the Queen Elizabeth and King Charles' coronation. Her royal connections really are worth their weight in gold. Please welcome Lady Anne Glenconner. Well, welcome. Lovely to have you here. And I know you and Janet are kind of big friends, aren't you?
We were unlikely.
Yeah, over Booper the elephant. Do you remember? Because
Yes.
you met Booper,
Yes.
my husband's elephant.
Yes.
I'm
going to explain that.
Please do.
Because Lady Anne is talking in, like, posh code.
You've
So
met
I
my
just say-
husband's elephant.
Well, her husband, Colin Tennant, had an elephant, and I was at the hotel that he was running in St Lucia, and I was having dinner with Brian Ferry when Colin pitched up with the elephant, and unfortunately the elephant decided to do a giant poo.
Oh, no.
Right by our table. And Brian Ferry and his wife at the time, Lucy, looked a little bit stricken.
No, well, I didn't see it. But anyway, we did bond. Sadly, Booper's no longer. So we all now have to talk about other things.
We're going to talk about your book,
hopefully,
the
about my
picnic book.
Well, yes, Picnic Papers, a beautiful book, but I was just commenting to you, I love this picture on the front of you. Where was this taken?
It was taken in Musty quite a long time ago now, and I'm wearing a sort of South American dress that I was very fond of. But no, because the picnic actually originally came out in 1983, the original book. And I thought, because of the success of my book, Lady in Waiting.
You no need to be modest about it, Lady Anne. You sold hundreds of thousands of copies of that book.
Over
a million.
Wow.
And it's been translated into 21 different countries, including in Russia. I don't think Mr. Putin's read my book, but perhaps he should. But I do. I'm a gay icon now because of my
You're
son.
a gay icon?
Yes, because of Henry, my son, dying of AIDS. And, of course, this book is being sold to support an abused a charity that the Queen actually recommended, Safe Lives.
Because you were also a victim of domestic abuse.
I was, and Princess Margaret was a tremendous help to me during my life. And the Queen, too, because my original book, I just felt I couldn't write. I didn't want to embarrass
Were many
the
women
tune.
talking about it like they are now, Lady Anne, at the time you were suffering?
Absolutely not. And the present Queen really encouraged me, you know, to write. She said, if you write about it, then it'll open it out.
She's really taken that cause on board,
She's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I get lots of people, like a sort of audience in front of me, they ask me questions, and often they stand up and say, you know, what can I advise them, you know? And I only say, well, the great thing is talk about it. Talk to your friends, you know?
So at the time that you were in that relationship, were you aware that you were being abused? I know that seems silly, but it was different
not really,
times.
and you're kind of feel ashamed that it's your fault, you know, and all that. Anyway, to get back to Picnic Papers...
Yes, quickly.
Yeah.
Back to that book. You sold a million of the other book.
Well, I've talked enough about abuse, really. But what was so lovely is that I've got a whole lot of new people to write.
This is a love of you loving picnics.
Yes. One of the very first picnics I remember, because I lived in Holcombe in Norfolk, very near Sandringham, and I met, I suppose, Princess Margaret when I was 3. And the minute I saw her, I knew she's my sort of friend. You know, she's quite naughty. But the Queen was much more grown up. And I remember a wonderful story at Holcombe, which has a big marble hall. And absolutely, we were told not to go into it. Well, Princess Margaret and I on our tricycles were having a wonderful time, whirling around. And the Queen came down the steps. She said, what are you doing, Anne and Margaret? Very, very naughty. I remember screaming with laughter with Princess Margaret. And we went off there, you know. But, of course, the royal family loved picnics, you know.
Yeah.
And I think in the book I've got, I mean, it was Graham Norton for instance, has written a picnic in my book, which is a non-picnic, really. He's brought up in Ireland, and he thought people were mad when they saw people sitting in a freezing wind, with their lettuce leaves blowing away.
Yeah.
And so I've got a variety, and Lorraine Kelly wrote me a lovely one too.
Can you have an indoor picnic as well?
Yeah. Well, of course, because one of the best picnics I suppose I've ever had, Princess Margaret wrote me a picnic. My friend said, will you ask Princess Margaret to write a picnic? I said, well, she's never written a picnic before, really written anything. But anyway, so she came and stayed with me in the evening after 2 rather strong vodkas and tonics. Well, I think actually that she's drinking whiskey. I said, ma'am, can I ask you something? And she said, yes, Em, what do you want to ask me? And I said, would you write a picnic for this book? And then she did, and of course it's charming, it's at Hampton Court. Yeah. But one of the most fantastic picnics I've ever had was something that she arranged, and we had a picnic among the crown jewels at the Tower of London. Wow. We sat there, we went into this room, there's a big table with and all the crown jewels round us. And that
wow.
And what did you have, egg sandwiches?
Well, no, avocado soup. We started.
Lady Anne, that is one of Princess Margaret's favourite, isn't it?
Yes, and that is in the book. This book is not a cookery book. I have to sort of make, but there are
it's about the experience.
Well, speaking of cooking, Lady Anne, you only started cooking when you was 86.
Well, this is a terribly shaming story.
No, it's not at all.
After my own heart, I think.
Yeah.
well, I mean, no, I was very lucky and sort of spending so much time in Mustique, where there was lots of staff. And I've always, we had a wonderful cook in Scotland, really a sort of country house cook. I only wish I'd spent more time with her learning. Because suddenly, aged 87, my dear husband died and left this, well, I can't swear on this programme.
No, you can't, Lady Anne.
I would like to. Anyway, nothing. And when you're 87...
So you got no money?
No
you got
money.
Cook.
Oh, my God.
What was your first dish?
Boiled eggs.
Wow. And how did it go, Lady Anne?
Well, actually, I do know now a bit. I have taken it in hand. I've got a cookery. And one of the people who writes in my book, which most people here are far too young to remember, but she's called Arabella Boxer.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
And she was a great cook. And she wrote a charming picnic in my book called An Aeroplane Picnic, because the food is so filthy on the airline. And anyway, she had a wonderful book. It was like a Bible called The First Slice Your Cookbook. And so I go through that, but I don't really like cooking.
Don't worry
well, listen, you're in very good company.
You
well,
really
not Janet.
are.
She's a fan. She's a fan.
like
It's been lovely to have you here. Thank you so much. And the book is...
Here's to a million copies sold.
Lady Anne Glenconner.
Thank you.